What is going on, guys? It is Connor back with another episode. It has been a long time since I've shot a video, let alone uploaded one. I think it's been 5 or 6 months, and I am back now. It is summer. Well, it's getting there. It's obviously raining today, but it is almost that time. It's June. It's time to race cars, and it's time to get the Celica back on the road. My goal this year is to get the Celica on the track, at least racing around, and in today's episode we're going to do some tidying up of the car, and I'll just basically inform you about where we're at with the car and kind of my plan for it. So let's get right into it. Now, before we jump into the task for today and the overall sort of chores that we need to do on the car, I did want to just give a basic layout. If you guys are new to the channel, this is my 2000 Toyota Celica. I have a series on YouTube about adding in a gritty supercharger. Don't mind the shop rag. Peppermint oil is a great thing for mice. I leave this car outside in this little covered shack. This shack is great, but there are some mice that get in here, so I soak those rags in peppermint oil. They do really well. I highly advise it. But anyways, so the Celica is destined to be an autocross car. That's the whole point of it, and it's been a long time running since I haven't done it. I did autocross my Nissan GTR last year, but I never got a chance to get the Celica out. So this year that plan is to change. If anybody is a longtime viewer of the channel, you might notice that we do have a new APR splitter on the car. So this is a carbon fiber splitter from a WRX that I've just kind of repurposed onto the Celica. The size of it doesn't really exactly work. I'm not super happy about that, but it is what I had. Something cheap that I picked up online locally, and I'm happy with the look overall. I don't think it's too bad, and obviously it's going to protect my M2 lip on the front, which is getting harder and harder to find copies of. So I'd rather protect that lip than have something that fits perfectly. Otherwise, we haven't done much to the car. I do have a secret set of wheels for the car for this track season that I'm very much looking forward to installing. I don't know when that's going to happen, but there's no point in installing really nice wheels and then letting it sit in here. So other than that, what I've done so far is just kind of gone over the car. New battery installed, oil changed, splitters on, front ends on, all the lights are checked. What we're going to task ourselves with today is fixing the battery terminal. If you can see, I added in a new battery terminal here because mine was rusted out over the winter, and I think that there's just a height clearance here on this nut. So what I want to go do is I want to grab like a battery cover and then close the hood and make sure everything works and I'm not going to cause issues later. So I'm just going to take you guys along for the ride with that and then give you guys a little update. I feel like it's been a while since we talked. That's kind of the plan for this video. Give it a start, give it a wash, and get everything up to date. Let's get in the car, go to the store. Now, I would normally take the GTR, but as you guys did hear, it is raining up in Washington. Even though it's June, it was sunny yesterday. So we're going to take the old faithful Mini Cooper, but I did want to give a quick update on the GTR. Not much has changed here. It's getting tuned right now. I'm in the process of tuning it. Same power mods as before, bolt-on E85, 650 wheel horsepower or so is what we're looking at. Brand new J-hook Alcon rotors on the back, and then same Alcon rotors on the front. There's endless MX72 pads that just went into the car. That's kind of the goal with this one, is that it's going to be like the circuit car, and then the Celica is the autocross car. But anyways, let's jump in the car and go to the store.
You can keep whining.
All right, so check it out. This is what I'm going to be using for this. So I have that terminal that comes up right there, and then I'm probably just going to cut that excess off and then maybe cut a hole in the side to feed off my audio from there, but I think this will work. All right, hit the road, head back home. All right, new day, second part of the video. I got a little bit distracted yesterday. Ended up going fishing with my dad, spending some time with him. So I put the car on pause, but I did get the battery cover on there and modified to how I wanted. So I just cropped the bottom half of it, cut a hole in the top here to access this nut if I need to, and then just have the cover over here. So this is that nut terminal. It's just a marine style battery. And then right now I have a zip tie here just to see if it works. I just want to hold it on here, and then eventually I'll change this out for either electrical tape around all of it, because I don't plan to be removing the battery. I just rather put it on a tender and lift this up and have access to it or whatnot. But we're gonna see if it works for today. that means that everything should be squared away on the Celica. So batteries in, again, we did the oil change on everything, fresh fluids in it. I think everything is ready to start this thing for the first time since like last November. So it's been a couple months. I think we're about ready. So I'm just gonna make sure everything is cleared out from the back here. We'll try and fire this thing up. All right, everything should be good. Good sign that we have some battery sounds, at least that the car is working. All right, this will be the actual first start since November. I'm a little bit worried. Looks like we're out of methanol here. Let's see if it kicks over, I guess. Hey! Oh, and we killed it. All right, that wasn't, that didn't last too long. Give it a little gas. I think it's gonna find its idle here. All right, round 2. I think we're good now. No lights, no nothing. On the Apexy, the PFCs, the Power FC Commanders, this has never worked for me, so I'm not sure. Also, secondary, if you have an OLED one of these, like obviously this is still working, but my screen isn't. So if you have an OLED one, let me know. I might want to buy it from you. But with that, running the standalone ECU, if you do get knock, it just takes over your check engine light. So I don't hear anything weird coming from the engine, and then I'm not seeing that. Unfortunately, when you go to the standalone, you kind of lose like the style of DCT, like if you had any like O2 sensors or anything like that. So I can't see that right now, but I'm not concerned about it. So overall, I think we're pretty good. We'll shut that off just so it's not draining extra power, and then we'll hop out. We'll take a listen to the engine, make sure everything sounds good outside. And one last thing I did want to check. Oil pressure is good, so we're at 75 psi on the oil pressure. That means that like my port or my plug is still in there, nothing's leaking out. We still have pressure, so that's good. Just one thing to check always. Engine sounds fine. I'm not too worried about it. No knocking, no ticking, no clicking. Sounds healthy. Just checking air, running. Everything back here on the car seems good. Exhaust sounds fun, ready to go. All right, we'll let this thing warm up for 10 minutes or so before we do anything, and I'll just keep watching it, checking over it, making sure it's all good. We'll see, it should be. In the back of my Celica, still show car style setup. This is our methanol tank here, and it does look like it's empty. I don't know if I'm actually gonna be able to get this done with one hand. Oh my goodness. All right, nope, it beats me. All right, 2 hands it is. You can see down in there, there's our little float. We are completely drained out. I think this stuff evaporates. I'm not entirely too sure, but we are gonna go get some more for that just so we can drive this car around. Tucked away on my very, very, very dirty car cabinet are these nice bottles of Boost Juice. This is a 50-50 water meth mix, pre-mix, and then basically we can just throw it into the car. It's very, very, what do you call it? Like laboratory tested? Like it's exactly 50-50. So this is the best stuff to run, just so you're not dealing about ratios or anything like that. And we'll go ahead and add it to our meth tank there. So I'm a little surprised, but honestly this car is nothing but reliable. Like Celicas are always reliable, even when you add a supercharger to them. They just kind of work. Like this thing running good, sounds like how I left it. There is a bunch of spider webs, and I did find some like mice droppings in the engine bay. So I was a little bit worried about some electronics, but it seems like everything is working. At least everything that I'm concerned about. Tires are holding air, which is really nice. there is like a slight stretch on these tires, so the possibility for them to like just debead is there, but it looks like everything's okay. What I'm kind of doing is I'm just like backing up and running the car. I don't want to take it out on the road before I want to make sure all the brakes work, as they did right there, get all the rust off of it, and then once I feel comfortable, I'll take it out on the road. Once I get it driving on the road for probably 2,000 miles or so, we'll take it to the track. But I do want to just make sure that everything is good. This year on this car, as well as all my cars, I bought like fire extinguishers for them, because I don't want to lose a car just due to like negligence or like a wire. So I'm trying to do my due diligence this year and make sure everything is good, make sure everything is solid before taking it out on the road, as well as everything else. But I am very, very, very happy about this. I am very excited to get this car back on the road and start driving it. If you guys are new to the channel or don't know, this car has 52,000 miles on it. I supercharged this car. I mean, you can see the whole video series on my channel, but I supercharged this car and I've driven it 2,000 miles since it's been supercharged. It has pretty much no life on the car at all. I feel super bad about it, but yeah, 52,000 on the odometer, old gas, dust everywhere. Man, I do feel bad about it, but we are going to bring this car back this year. We're going to be racing it. So I'm going to keep doing this, get all the kinks worked out of it if there are any, find anything that's broken or anything that's making weird noises. Right now it seems good, but I can't let 2 runs down the driveway dictate that, so I'll just keep playing with it and see kind of what goes on. Check in with you guys soon. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. The Celica is back up and running. New fluids, new front lip on it, and the battery is connected. Everything drove perfectly fine up and down the driveway. Up next we'll be taking it out on the road, but I am not going to film that because I'm going to clean everything. Probably going to jack up the car and make sure nothing is wrong with it on the underside before I take it out onto the public roads, just so I don't hurt anybody. But I think the car is looking absolutely fantastic, and I think it's going to look so good out on the autocross track. I think it's also going to do really well. Compared to the GTR, this thing just handles so much better. Speaking of the GTR, I got a couple more things to do on it this weekend, but I am out of time for car stuff, so that's kind of it for my weekend. I promise that Celica will be out on the road soon, and the GTR content will come back with drives. Hopefully we'll get this thing out on the track, and hopefully the Celica will go out onto the autocross session. But I really appreciate you guys clicking on this video and taking the time to watch. I know I haven't been active on this channel, but I'm trying to change that and trying to get back to it. I am very active on my Instagram as well as the Toyota Celica Facebook page. I will link those down below if you guys want to connect with me on there. I'm more than happy to answer any questions or talk about Celicas, talk about whatever you guys want. I hope you guys are doing well in your lives. If you just want to update me on where you're at with your car, I'd love to hear about it. I love hearing what people are doing with their stuff. So it's good to be back. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.